What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, today we're going to be checking out some Battlefield 2042 gameplay, more specifically, Rush. Once again, probably my favorite game mode in this game currently. Much better than both Breakthrough and Conquest 128 players. And it's only 16 versus 16, but it feels like there's 10 times more action in this game mode compared to anything else in this game. So please, for love of God, DICE, do not remove this from Battlefield 2042. For those who don't know how to play Rush, basically it's in Portal. You load up Portal, and it's at the very bottom of the screen where it's, a bunch of categories for Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, 1942, and all that stuff. And there should be a category for Battlefield 2042 Rush. You can load it up and you'll find a server in 5 seconds because, let me tell you, at least on PC, a lot of people are playing this right now. I can always get consistent lobbies going on. But ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have a couple of extra minutes today, please, by all means, go ahead and stop into my live stream. I will be live streaming some Battlefield 2042 pretty much all day long. We're grinding for some tier 1 skins, like you're watching right here, the PP29. We're grinding for this one, and also the MP9 is almost there. I think I need less than 200 more kills, so we are 110% tier 1ing the MP9 in today's live stream. So if you guys want to be a part of this journey and see me critique the game live and in action and prep for future YouTube videos, by all means, check out my live streams. The link to that stuff is down in the description. I would really appreciate it. Now, today's commentary took me a very long time to go ahead and put together. Now, this commentary should have came out about a week ago, but I wanted to sink in as much time as I possibly could into Battlefield 2042 to make sure that my opinions were solid enough, and I wasn't going to go ahead and change my mind, a month or two down the road and say, oh, well, now they're amazing. No, I wanted to make sure I sunk in enough time, which I believe I did, to give a legitimate opinion on this topic, and that is the map designs in 2042. Now, one of the biggest reasons why I play Rush here is because of the fact the maps are more simplified. They're not as large, they're not as open, there's 2 sites that are very condensed, and it's 16 versus 16. A lot of the combat is up close and personal, a lot of infantry gameplay, and that's what I prefer out of Battlefield games. Every single Battlefield I have played, I've always been an infantry main. Maybe about 5%, maybe 10% of the time, maybe I'll hop into a helicopter or hop into a tank, but in all my Battlefield experiences from Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Hardline, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, I main infantry. That's just what I enjoy when I play FPS games. Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo, it doesn't matter what type of game it is. World War 3, Fortnite, even though I don't even play that, Apex Legends. I like the gunplay in these titles, so that's what I do. Now, just because I mostly main Rush now, doesn't mean I don't enjoy larger scaled maps. That's what I love out of Battlefield franchise. I don't want any small Nuketown styled maps in Battlefield. No, I love large, gigantic maps with plenty of different areas to explore, with multiple vantage points and different areas that you can hold down and get different angles on. That's what I like out of Battlefield, and Battlefield has always been successful with that. They don't need, like I said, Nuketown styled maps to make their game good. No, they have all large scale styled maps with some closer scale like Metro and Operation Locker and stuff like that, which are still much larger than Call of Duty, but in Battlefield terms, those are probably more of the smaller scale styled maps. But you get what I'm saying here. Battlefield has always been able to make large scaled maps while still allowing infantry and vehicles to be combined into one lobby without, disturbing one side over the other. Now, has it always been perfect? No. It's a very hard thing to balance out vehicles and infantry at the same time. So on certain maps, yes, vehicles are a little bit more overpowered, or on other maps, the infantry have, a much better advantage over vehicles. It flip-flops depending on what you play on. But in Battlefield 2042, there is not a single map in this game that is not completely solely focused around vehicle gameplay. They have stripped everything that I loved about the Battlefield franchise, the infantry play, and just pretty much threw it in the garbage. And it's funny because all the playtesters before this game came out, I actually made a commentary about this, said that Orbital was the worst map out of all of them that they played, and they loved all the other maps 10 times more. Well, guess what? For me personally, Orbital is the best map that I have played, and the rest of them got even worse and worse and worse. Even Kaleidoscope, which I thought personally was going to be my favorite map in the whole game. It gave me such Siege of Shanghai vibes that I was just 110% positive that that was going to be my favorite map. And then we get it, and what is it? It's a wide open park with a singular building in the very middle, and then 3 skyscrapers that people just camp the elevators on. There's no building warfare. You're not dipping and weaving between, different skyscrapers and, trying to navigate through buildings and helicopters and, using the buildings as cover to get away from missiles or other helicopters. It wasn't any strategic gameplay. They advertised that in the trailer, but guess what the gameplay actually is? You running across open fields and getting mowed down by either tanks, tanks, bolts, helicopters, whatever you can possibly think of, that's what's going to be destroying you while you're trying to run across the field. None of the maps play well. Literally, like I just said, the only map that I personally enjoy right now is Orbital, because I can navigate it, enjoy it, and I don't have to get stuck out in the open 24/7 where vehicles are just going to completely mow me down. And what really sucks is that visually, these maps are stunning. For example, Renewal, I think, is by far one of the most gorgeous maps I've ever laid my eyes on. Half desert, half grassland with different terrain in both areas, building warfare on one side, mountain warfare on the other side. I think it's phenomenal for both, sniper players, SMG players, AR players. It fits every playstyle out there. Manifest, tons of crates, tons of boats. You have the top sector where it's the B flags, where you have the two buildings that you can fight between. There's a lot of good infantry gameplay here. But once again, all of them get ruined by vehicle gameplay. It's over-abused. And for me personally, I think the reason that it became so over-abused is that all the maps and just this game in general was designed around the drop-in feature. For those who don't know, any squad can call in a vehicle at any moment in time. Now, sometimes on a very rare occasion, there will be a break where you can't call in a vehicle. But 9 times out of 10, you will have full access to multiple vehicles that aren't just transport vehicles, but they all have weapons on them. You can either use a freaking 30mm cannon to shred people, or just have simply a minigun, which is also very usable as well. Which, at that point, why would you abandon the vehicle? You see, in Battlefield, when you get in something, you play your role. That's just how Battlefield is. It's not like Call of Duty where we're all sitting here, single-handedly playing on our own, playing for kills. No, if we get a vehicle that has a mounted gun on it, we're not just going to toss it off and give it to the enemy team or, push it out somewhere. No, we're going to use that vehicle. We're going to make sure we take advantage of it before it blows up or gets taken away. We're going to make sure we have fun with it. So with all the call-in transport vehicles having weapons on them, guess what that leads to? Everybody is in vehicles. Why would I go on a map like here, Hourglass, where half of the map is open desert running around as an infantry player, when I can easily just call in any vehicle of my choice, a tank, a jeep, a boat, an AA, whatever you want, you can call in right in front of your own eyes, hop in, and just start beasting on all the other poor infantry players who didn't think of that first. All the other infantry players, where in past Battlefield games, they didn't have to do this, and they could run from flag to flag if they did it strategically, where now here, they can't. They will get mowed down. It adds too many vehicles to the maps. Yes, a couple of tanks on the flag could be annoying and hard to deal with, but is it impossible to deal with? No, you can still manage it if your squad can coordinate correctly. Yeah, maybe a pesky helicopter can, get in the way every once in a while, but can you and your squad handle it? Yes, but when you have a helicopter, 2, 3, 4 tanks rolling up, 5 bolts, 6 jeeps, you got a couple of hovercrafts floating up buildings. When you have all this crap just jammed into one area, it ruins the gameplay. It almost makes me think that nobody at DICE playtested this game, not even in the slightest, to make sure that 128 players would work correctly. Because honestly, like I said, I prefer Rush. I get more action, more teamwork, and more enjoyment when I'm playing Rush, which is 16 versus 16, than I do in a game mode that's 128 players. It's unbalanced. And there's so many other different games out there that are milsims or tactical shooters that have 100 plus players. So I don't want to hear the excuse, well, it's 128 players. It's supposed to be hectic. It's supposed to be insane. No, it's supposed to be well balanced. Yes, it's supposed to be absolutely wild. But when it gets to the point where you can't even spawn into the map because there's just so much crap going on and so many explosions going on, no wonder I can't get any good optimization. When 50 tanks are being dropped into the map and shooting explosives off at the same time, yeah, my PC is probably going to take a shit. But enough complaining. Here's my solution. They need to add more cover in these maps for infantry players. There's way too many wide open areas that are, like I said, perfect for vehicle gameplay, which encourages the drop system way too frequently, which leads to everybody only being in vehicles. If you make it a little bit easier for infantry to travel from point A to point B, people might choose to actually walk instead of drive, which will add for more infantry combat. But more than likely, they are never going to go ahead and adjust these maps. So the only thing that I think we can be hopeful for is the future content of this game, and hopefully the future maps, after hearing feedback from us over these maps, hopefully they can polish them off and make them more good. Don't you guys remember the maps from Battlefield 3? Like, Battlefield 3 has some bangers. Battlefield 4, shoot, Battlefield 1 had gorgeous maps, amazing maps. Bad Company 2, all of these maps were so well designed that vehicle players could have a blast, while at the same time infantry can still enjoy their combat without having to force themselves at vehicles 24/7. I just miss those map designs. But here's the second suggestion that I have to fix the overall problems. Either, one, take away the weapons from the transport vehicle. There are transport vehicles. We don't need weapons, okay? We don't need to fight against infantry. That's not the purpose. It's not like we're going to be taking out tanks or anything. Maybe with a 30 mil, but still that's going to take a long time. The majority of the transport vehicles should be used to transport. Okay? Not shoot, not shred, because like I said, that's not how Battlefield players work, and I can't blame anybody for doing that. I can't blame anybody for hopping in a vehicle and, just abusing it and just shredding people down, shredding up all the infantry, because that's what you're supposed to do. If you get into a vehicle that has a weapon, you use that weapon, you take advantage of that. So either take away those weapons, or put those vehicles into the assault class, so they are assault vehicles, a longer spawn-in time, not as long as tanks, but much longer than a transport vehicle, and then add in maybe, weaponless jeeps or ATVs or something like that, minor things that you can call in more frequently, but won't take up as much space, because obviously, the bigger the vehicles and stuff like that, the more call-ins, the laggier the servers and stuff. So, smaller sized vehicles and stuff like that, but allow us to just call in things that could take us from point A to point B without having to worry about anything else. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to sum up the commentary today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button if you hated it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, there's two ways to do so. I have Twitter and Discord. Both those links are down in the description. And also, you want to catch me live stream some video games over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.